Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video today. I have for you 5 things to know for this upcoming full moon coming up on July 3rd in the zodiac sign of Capricorn, bringing us a strong vibrational or energetic support for our transformation, for our manifestations, especially for the things we've been working on this whole year. Capricorn is the sign of a goal-oriented being. A being that always knows what it wants, and sometimes it may be quite materialistic, so it may sometimes attach himself to that certain wanting outcome, and that's where we need to be careful with these energies to recognize, well, it's not about the outcome but having the goal for the outcome, so we aim towards something, so we feel inspired to move towards something, because it's all about the path we're walking on, because the path brings us actual experiences that bring us actual wisdom. And on that way, on that path, we manifest things, we experience certain results that can be like moments of, seasons of reaping what we've created. Those are usually for many people moments to rejoice, to celebrate. But more than anything, Capricorn is reminding us to have something to aim towards, and don't be just materialistic about it, be also emotional about it, like have emotional goals. If right now most of my life is experienced through emotions of ungratefulness and sadness, let's have a goal for my future that I will be more grateful, that I will be more joyful, that I will be more compassionate, maybe more loving. And we can learn that we become who we are practicing to be. That's something that Capricorn is really aware of, which is reminding us that if you have a goal to be grateful, you have to start practicing being grateful more often, because you can only become who you're practicing to be. When you have a goal to be more joyful, you will start asking yourself how to be more joyful, right? What are the things that bring me an actual joy? And let's start doing more of that, right? So what are the 5 things we need to know when it comes to this full moon? This is a powerful, intense energy, but before we start, I want to read a quick message for you, as we've just entered into a fresh new month of July. And July is known as the month of good fortune and breakthroughs. Many breakthroughs happen to people in the month of July. Where you felt the most stuck, things will align. What was lacking will be replaced with wisdom, unexpected manifestations, and everything you need for your growth at this point. And your worries will be replaced with reasons to rejoice. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Know that your transformation is not a sprint, but a marathon. So, when what you want doesn't show up, give it time. Everything needs and takes time, right? You can't even imagine how great your life can be if you just don't give up at this point. So don't give up, my friends. So much is waiting you in the future. So much great things. So, my friends, right now you may be at the phase where things are not making sense yet, but know that everything will work out well, especially if you're doing your best. So maybe the universe isn't really testing you right now, but is giving you an opportunity to practice who you say that you are, who you say that you're becoming. So it's all about preparation. I always say to you, when we don't get what we want, we are actually in a preparation phase, where the universe or life or God is preparing us to become who we are saying that we are, so we can maintain the life we want to live. So this is a phase of preparation, but as we've entered into the summer, it's also a phase of exploration, a phase of adventure, where we go into external adventure but also internal adventure, right? So if any of that already resonates with you, hit the like button. Let's do it right now. Thank you so much, my friend, and we will go forward. So the first thing you have to know about this full moon is that it's deeply connected to your sense of worthiness. The present energy right now is kinda revealing to you your inner worthiness, your inner, let's say, wholeness that was always present within you. And many things may be challenging your inner wholeness, like, do I really feel whole if I'm lacking those things? But this energy, this full moon may awaken a lot of intensified thoughts that will remind you that it's not about the outcome, it's not about attaching your worthiness to what you're receiving, to what you're experiencing, but to what you're creating. You should always tie your worthiness to the input, to what you're giving, to what you're creating. Because we become more of what we're practicing to be, as I said before. So when you practice to be worthy, when you do something, for example, when I'm painting, when I'm making those videos, I feel like I'm already living in abundance because I have abundance of ideas, I have abundance of energy, I have abundance of health. And if I'm sharing this with you, I feel even more in tune with it. I feel even more connected with it. I open up a channel so this energy can travel to you. And when I do more of that, I feel even more worthy. I feel like I'm opening up, right? And that's what this energy is reminding you. Open up and share your gifts with the world. Open up and share your worthiness with the world. Your worthiness actually has nothing to do with what you're receiving, but to what you're giving, and you always get what you give, right? But it comes to the energy, not so much to the physical objects. It's not like when you give more money, you will get more money. It's like when you share more of that abundant energy of inspiration, of help, of practicality, of nurturing, of support, you will get more support, you will get more of what you need. And life is always providing you what you need, and sometimes we are blindly not being able to see that we always got what we needed, because we are so focused on what we want, so we miss what we already have. And I want to remind you to tie your worthiness to the input, to what you're giving. A powerful time to make this shift. The second thing you need to know right now is that when you do everything right and the result is not what you want, don't let it prevent you from doing what's right. This one is so powerful, and it comes to the Capricorn. As I said, Capricorn is this goal-oriented being, and there's a strong energy right now to have certain goals, to have high goals actually for yourself. And goals have nothing to do with attachments to the outcomes. Goals just give us a sense of direction into which we are moving ourselves, walking or running or climbing or whatever it is. But it doesn't mean you should attach yourself to the outcome, because then if the outcome doesn't happen, you will feel unhappy, you will feel unsatisfied, you will feel unease with yourself. It doesn't mean that. It just means that focus on righteousness, focus on doing it right. And consistency then will give birth to great results. Because if we do one thing right just for one time and we say, oh, nothing right came back to me, then obviously this thing is not working. It doesn't work like that. Everything in nature works through consistency. As trees are growing, everything is growing because of consistency. And all the tree truly understands is that it's right for it to grow. It's right for you to grow. And when you do what is right, you will grow the most. When you do what is right, you will grow the most. But sometimes when you do what is right, what you want will not find you immediately, but through consistency it will. And that's what Capricorn is reminding you with this full moon. To make this shift in your mindset. That doesn't matter if the wanting results are not finding me, I need to focus on doing it right. I need to focus to be a bit more righteous than I was in the past. Because it's all about consistency, and through consistency I will give birth to also what I want to experience. I have to be consistent, I have to be persistent, I have to know what I want, but I shouldn't be attached on getting it. I will rather focus on walking towards it. I will focus on my input. I will focus on what can I give to this wonderful planet. What can I share with this wonderful planet, with this wonderful society of great potential? The third thing that you have to know for this upcoming full moon is that those who are ignoring their flaws, and this one is really important to know, those who are ignoring their flaws will go through a massive emotional roller coaster. And we can find so many people are losing their minds right now. And firstly, I want to send some prayers to anyone who's moving through hard times right now. It's not an easy time. Those are intense times right now. And the whole summer will be intense. I will make another video for that because so many energetic shifts are happening this summer. So many planetary retrogrades are happening this summer. Actually, 7 out of 8 planets will go retrograde. A lot of great opportunities are coming with the shifts, and we'll talk more about it later. So those who are ignoring their flaws will go through a massive emotional roller coaster, not because something in this universe is punishing you, but because life is preparing you. Life is inspiring you to cleanse yourself, to pull out what is bothering you, to express your, let's say, if you feel uncertain about something, if you feel worried about something, talk about it, not in a way of complainment, but in a way of objective reflection. And sometimes I know it's hard to do because we feel so emotional, and it's okay. You have to feel it, you have to express it, you have to talk about it. What's the difference between expression of our worries and complainment? Well, expression of our worries may happen when we find someone, or we have a person that loves us to such a degree that wants to be there for us when we have something like that to share, something dark to pull out. And that person will say to us, I would love to hear what you're moving through. And complainment is then when you just attack someone with your dark thoughts. This is toxic. But when you have someone who's willing to go with us through that process, and sometimes it may be just your journaling block, sometimes it may be a therapist, sometimes it may be your friend, sometimes it may be your partner, but just remind that person, hey, I'm going through something hard. Be open, be honest. You will see when you open your heart, that person will open his or her heart, and a wonderful coherence will happen between you two. And when we connect, we become stronger, right? So it's much easier to handle darkness, dark thoughts, heavy emotions when we do it together. So this full moon is reminding you to release this stored, delimiting beliefs, to release the dark thoughts you have around your life. Let's say your life is not going the way you would like, and maybe you can't see a way out of it. But the best way out of it is to express it, to talk about it. Because sometimes even when you just talk about what you're moving through, moments of clarity may hit you and you will get an answer. That's the power of expression. Because sometimes, we have in this mental prison, there's many dark thoughts caught in our mental prison. And sometimes the only way to free them is to give them a voice and pull them out. Do it outside in the nature, talk with someone, pull the thoughts out, and you will get emotional when you will do it, and it's completely okay. But do it until you will feel completely emotionally free. So when you will be talking about something dark, something heavy, eventually that energy will be released and you will feel free. And maybe at some point in the future, this moment will return when you will need to release something. Do it, talk about it, express it. It is so healing. And this is a great time right now to do it, because we all have so much of darkness within us because of our ancestry, because we've been fed up with so much of negativity on media, on social media, and all around us. So we need to find a way to cleanse it out so we can get in touch with our inner purity once again, to recognize how incredible we are once we give more life to that inner genius, to that inner wisdom that was always there, hidden behind all the stored limiting beliefs and stored emotions and so on. So this full moon is a great time to create that release and talk about, especially if you start today. And during this phase of the full moon, usually 3 days before and 3 days after is the strongest energy. If you do it at this phase, so much will be cleansed. And I want to encourage you to do it right now. And those who are identifying their flaws. So firstly, what are flaws? Flaws are untrained parts of our character. Those are not, flaws are not your brokenness. It's not your brokenness, but rather untrained part of your characters that can be shaped, formed, and perfected with the right knowledge, skills, and habits. Which means that when you recognize, for example, that you're not good in let's say, in a certain communicative expression, and you may feel like you're broken, like you don't know how to talk with these people. Every time you come into a social life, you may feel anxious or whatever it is for you. And you may think there's something wrong with you because of that. You're only like that because you always run away when something scary happens. So you've become completely afraid of everything. And maybe it's not even your pattern, maybe it's a pattern of your parents, and you haven't done anything about it, so you're still working in a similar way. And a path towards healing this pattern is to stop running away from what you're afraid of and start doing more of the things you're afraid of, and therefore you will become better at doing it. So if you want to become more social when it's necessary, go and be social when it's necessary, and you will become more social to a certain degree of moderation that is healthy for you. It's all about practice. Like, we are practicing skills at sports, at expression, at art, at anything. We are practicing skills inside of our character. It has nothing to do with your perfect soul, but it has a lot to do with the skills of how can you express your perfect soul, right? And that's what we call a character, a personality. We can shape it, we can form it, and we can perfect it. And this full moon is a perfect time to identify a little bit at what areas you still feel that there's a space for improvement. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, but you can gain better skills at your expression, because therefore you can become more helpful in this society. And it is really needed right now for many of us. The fourth thing you need to know about this full moon is that you have a higher purpose. And you know that, I'm sure you know that there is a purpose. If you've been born with a purpose. Everything in nature has a purpose. Each animal, each creature has its purpose in this nature. You can study it, you will find answers there. So therefore, you have your own purpose as well. And a part of you already knows this, and maybe you're already working on it, or maybe you think you're working on it and you're not sure. And my message to you for this phase right now is that keep searching it. Keep doing what feels that it's purposeful. Keep doing what gives you a sense of meaning. Keep doing what gives you a sense of, let's say, satisfaction, because you feel you're doing something good for others. That's generosity. Keep practicing it. It's not about knowing what my purpose is, but feeling like we're living in a purpose. We're living purposefully. And it has nothing to do with clear knowingness of what the purpose is, but rather feeling like we've done something with a sense of purpose, which means we've done something good for others. We've done something that may be helpful for someone. We've done something that may heal someone. We've done something that may be good for this great web of life on which we're all connected. And sometimes just changing your habits for the healthier ones may create a cause and effect in the web of life. So sometimes when you just do something good for yourself, when nobody is watching, you actually create a positive shift in the collective. And that's already a part of the purpose. You're here right now for healing the old patterns and designing new ones that may be healthier, more beneficial, more powerful, and more helpful, something that may connect us back to oneness, where we recognize that we're not separated here. We should live life as what we see in the sky when we see a flock of birds, where there's no one bird that is leading the others, but they're all flying like a one collective, flying like a unity of consciousness. And as the consciousness of us is awakening, more and more people are tapping into this awareness that we are connected, and if we work together, we become stronger. If we work together, we become healthier. If we work together, we become more compassionate, more understanding to one another. And we can create more beautiful things out of this connection. So my friends, know that you have a purpose here. And to all of you who are already living in a purpose, many beautiful revelations may happen to you at this time. Many wonderful insights of what to do next, like what to focus on for this next stage of your life, for maybe your mission, whatever you're working on, what to focus on. Because you have to remember, as I mentioned, Capricorn is this materialistic sign. A lot of time it's attached to the material life. You need to remember that you're not just a spiritual being, you're living a physical life. So it's nothing wrong with wanting material things, with having goals about material things, like money, for example, or changing the appearance of your body in a way that you shape your body, you work out, you become healthier. Nothing wrong with that. If you have those kind of desires, it's actually good for your growth, for your expansion. Don't feel bad about it, don't feel guilty about it. It's all a part of this process. Have goals, have financial goals, study finances, study taxes, study everything that may help you to live more freely, to live more abundantly. It's all okay with that. You need to know that, because sometimes spiritual people may avoid those things because those things may bring a lot of pain into our lives. But if we are constantly avoiding pain, we're only striving towards pleasure, and it's not healthy as well. We need to strive towards moderation, which means we need to enjoy in pain as much as it's necessary, as much as we're enjoying in pleasures, as much as it's necessary, right? Buddha said, find the middle point, and the middle point is moderation, everything in moderation. And that is a great wisdom for this time. And the fifth thing you need to know about this full moon is that doesn't matter how uncertain your life may seem to be right now, if you're doing your best, having goals, and living virtuously, things will start aligning for you beautifully. And at some point you will be so grateful. You could be so grateful right now, my friend. And I can tell you, at some point you will be grateful you didn't give up. Because so much awaits you. But don't spend your life in waiting that something will happen while you have something to be grateful for right now. Don't wait something to happen while you have something to be grateful for right now. And more things you have to be grateful for, more things you will see to be grateful for, and more things you see to be grateful for, more things you will find to be grateful for. Like going outside into the nature and you recognize, well, it's so healing, it's so beautiful, it's so peaceful. Or you get yourself, as you're watching right now, painting the full moon magic. I hope you're enjoying it. You put an empty canvas, a blank canvas in front of you, and you just start creating, and you don't focus on what you want to create, you just start expressing yourself, use some colors, be playful with it, and you will notice, well, I'm so grateful that I can do it, that I can try new things. Indulge yourself in more activities that bring you joy, and you will feel more joyful. Indulge yourself in more activities that bring you passion, and you will feel more passionate. That's how everything works. Most of people are living their lives in a state of complainment. and therefore they always find things to complain about. But when you do this mental shift and you focus on what's already going well, and you focus on what's already going your way, and you focus on what you can already appreciate, you will always find more things to appreciate, right? You will always find more things to be happy about. And all it takes is a mental shift. It doesn't mean so much what we're getting in return. Doesn't matter how hard something feels. We always can choose how we'll look at it and what we'll do out of it. And if we decide to do our best to study the knowledge that can help us to make the best out of this present situation, we'll always get out of it with grace, with bravery, with courage, and with a great sense of trust that everything is working out in our favor when we know that we are doing our best. And that's how we tap into our inner greatness that was always in access to all of us. But we need to understand, like I've mentioned before, if you're constantly running away from what you're afraid, you will always be afraid for what you're running away from, right? So sometimes we need to face with those fears, and we need to do what we know that we have to do so we can experience the life that is meant for us. And my friends, I hope you found something meaningful, something valuable in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power from Greece. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art on our Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. The link is in the description of this video. Also, to anyone who would like to work with me, you can find a link in the description where you can schedule a Zoom calling with me. Go there and check it out. See you there, my friends. Till next time, one love.